Thank you. Thanks, Ben. He helped me dress this morning. I'll start talking. I put the MD, my title, up there, just to make you understand I'm not a mouse doctor like David, but when I did my thesis, the guys in the lab said it stood for Mickey and Donald because I wasn't a proper scientist. But I'm proud to be a clinician, and what I want to do is treat patients and try and make you better. But the key issue with oral therapies, it doesn't matter which hole in your body you stick it in, as long as it works, as long as it's safe. And that's what matters, isn't it? Efficacy and tolerability. So what am I going to talk about? A number of different drugs, if I can hit the keyboard right. One of the things I might have talked about, I'm going to say a little bit of oral myelin because it's mildly entertaining. We don't use steroids much for disease modification. It might work, but the toxicity is high. Azathioprine, possibly better than a poke in the eye, but it gives you cancer in the long term, so that's not so clever. We heard about Holland and Barrett. You've got to go to the right place. This is from Holland, and this is from Barrett. And the only question I've had this week from people with MS with a news cutting was for LDN. And I really would like LDN to work. I want to have better treatments. But we've got to do a study. And if there's no study, no trial, we don't know if it works. And as I'll show you later, you can get better on taking placebo, on nothing at all. And that's real safe placebo. We like placebo. So we're doing trials here, and that's what really matters. The key agenda here, I'm going to end up talking about these two drugs, which are really important and in the press, and I think are going to make a big difference, but we mustn't rush ahead. And in the last three, going to look at those initially with MRI data. But first, just a brief plug for a book which I enjoyed, Human Trials. It's an American book. And in North America, they don't have to do animal trials because they have North Americans who are very keen to take drugs, whether they work or not. Sorry, and some North Americans here. And we heard about immune tolerance earlier on, and the idea was some 30 years ago that if you ate myelin, you eat myelin, lots of it, it will confuse the immune system. And so it won't attack your spinal cord and optic nerves and won't give you MS. And a clever neurologist from America took 30 people with MS, and half of them got lots of oral myelin, and half got a dummy, a placebo. And it's all written up in this super book. And the benefit was absolutely stonking. The 15 patients who got the oral myelin did real well, and the ones who got placebo did real bad. So they went straight for a ginormous study of hundreds of patients, costing $90 million, and the result was no difference between the two groups. And the point is that little trials will give you a fluke. You've got to do big trials if you want a reasonable answer. Just because a patient gets better means nothing. I'm very happy for that patient. It doesn't tell you the treatment works. 10, 15, 20, 50 patients is not enough. You've got to do big, long studies if you don't want to generate random numbers. I got lots of random numbers out of my thesis, but I don't have to do that anymore, so that's wonderful.